welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an instant classic.
And you're
And we want to punch Jim Cornette in the face repeatedly until he bleeds because he's stupid. We'll see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
What is going on, good people? This is the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an instant classic. I still don't like my intros. I don't ever. So tell me my intro is great so I can like it, or at least you like it, and I keep doing it. But anyway, let's jump into TNA Impact Wrestling 3/29, 2016. This was the last show of March. Pretty interesting show, pretty good show. I think it was better than NXT this week and last week, because they were both jobber shows. Anyway, let's jump into the promos. I didn't bold my promo, so I might skip one / run away from one. We started off with a Matt Hardy promo, talking about how he wants a rematch for his world title, and then Mike Bennett would come out and he would talk about how old and washed up Matt Hardy was, and then EC3 would come out and kind of dispel all of that and talk about how he's the best, and he said a little prayer, which was interesting, considering Mike Bennett's kind of a god, I guess you could say. The way he's kind of portraying himself, he's kind of being like the miracle and whatnot. And then we had, later on in the show, we had a Gail Kim promo that was set up a Madison Rayne versus Velvet Sky #1 contendership match. And then you'd have Eli Drake talking to the Bromans, and maybe we're getting a darker, more tan bromance. But Casey, any thoughts on Eli Drake and the Bromans, Matt Hardy, or Gail Kim?
I missed the Gail Kim promo. I don't know if I walked out of the room or something, but I like the bromance. I like that we might be getting a darker, not skin tan darker, that's what Robbie thought. First he was like, so we going double tan, or we going triple tan? No, he's talking about like more of a heel, so that's exciting. I'm glad that, if they are randomly just out of nowhere bringing the bromans back together without really explaining it beforehand, at least they're going to kind of try and change it up a little bit, make them, darker, not just do the exact same thing. And, I don't see what the problem with him and Eli Drake were. I thought that was going good, and then they randomly change it back to the bromans. I don't know, but I mean, like I said, if they change it and make it, something more interesting, then I'm all for it. Matt Hardy promos now just kind of depress me because I love Jeff Hardy. Don't get me wrong, but Jeff came back and they were like, "Oh, screw you again, Matt. You don't get anything. You only get title shots and title runs when Jeff's gone." Or, when we have nobody else to give the title to. I don't know. I think, they should keep, which I feel like they are, kind of keeping Jeff a little bit away from the main event picture, just to kind of keep a little bit more of the focus on Matt Hardy, even though he's not the champion right now. But I like what they were doing with this opening segment. It feels like they're gonna set up like a triple threat or something coming up.
Alrighty, so next in the promo department, we had the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro, Elijah Burke, whatever you call him. He said he had to get something off his chest. So, you don't want too much weight, when you're doing the bench press, and it gets too heavy for you, you gotta get somebody to help you out and get it off. So, that's all he was doing. I go again with the bad analogies. Anyway, that's what he was doing. He calls out Lashley for a fight, and then a fight breaks out, and Pope gets hit with a nice spine buster out of the corner. And then the fight goes to the outside. Pope gets on top of Lashley, starts grounding and pounding because that's Pope's thing, grounding and pounding on top of Lashley on the outside. Then we got another Matt Hardy interview talking about that he always wins when he's involved in the equation. Um, and then we will look into EY's eyes in a second. Any thoughts on the Pope or Matt Hardy?
The Pope's my boy. I like the Pope. I'm excited. The past couple weeks we were hoping for an in-ring return, and I guess we're getting it. I don't know exactly what happened, how he got back into the ring, backstage wise, because I know before he left originally there was issues with TNA and him, and I guess it didn't end well or whatever. I don't remember exactly what happened, but it's good to see him back in this little kind of brawl. He did seem a little bit kind of rusty, I guess, but I mean he has been out of the ring for a long time now, so hopefully he'll kind of get back into ring shape and kind of not as rusty, I guess, in the ring. But I'm excited for it. Still not the biggest. You know what? I'm not even gonna feel bad anymore. I am not a fan of Lashley. I'm gonna say it. I don't care what anyone says. I am not a fan of Lashley. I'm just not. He bores me and he puts me to sleep. And he's just a generic big guy. That's all he is. I'm saying it. And he gonna get it. He gonna get his ass handed to him by the Pope, cause the Pope. Oh, and also Matt Hardy talked more, but yeah.
All right, I completely disagree, but we're gonna continue because I don't want to get into a match with Casey until we get to the matches. So we're gonna continue. We got an EY promo, and he wants us to look into his eyes. He talks about how there's a little speed bump. I'm gonna do it every time, Casey. I'm gonna do it every time. Every time he lets me do it, I'm gonna do it. He says that the thing with Bram and EY was just a little speed bump. It was just a little speed bump last week. That was it. And he keeps kind of looking back over at Bram because it's all Bram's fault. Okay, just so y'all know, it's all Bram's fault, according to EY. And he says basically he's gonna, after Jeff Hardy wins the world title tonight, he is going to take everything from Jeff Hardy, even his life potentially. So my question, EY, just a quick statement, even I guess you could say quarrel question. What happens if Drew Galloway wins? Then are you gonna take that life? Or you just don't have a backup plan just in case Jeff Hardy don't? Anyway, I was just wondering. Then I'll get to the bromance coming out to kick some booty in a minute. Then we had a Grado kind of discussing his party, talking to Mahabali Shera, and Al Snow comes out of the floorboards or something, and talks to him. He's like, yeah, we're gonna party, and then he like hits him with like a pipe or something, and throws him around and throws Shera out of the frame, and Shera never comes back. But any thoughts on Al Snow? Potentially a Grado Al Snow, revival of a feud from a while back, or looking into EY's eyes?
I don't want to look into EY's eyes because it makes me uncomfortable and I don't like it. I miss the happy EY. I want the happy EY back. But Grado, this is the part of the show that almost made me think this was going to be a shitty show, and I was kind of pissed because they're recycling a storyline that they already did. Really, you can't find anything else for Grado to do. You have to bring up this storyline that most people aren't even going to remember. That's so irrelevant right now. I had to think. Like, I knew there was a storyline with Al Snow back, but I couldn't remember if it was Grado or somebody else. But it's so old now. They need to figure something else out for him, not just throw him into another feud with Al Snow out of nowhere that makes no sense. Especially like now around this time, you know, a lot of companies, you know, WWE doesn't like to, you know, acknowledge any other companies, but other companies have to acknowledge WWE. And this is WrestleMania time. This is the time where you need to be on the top of your game if you're another company. This is the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's my tag team partner that just does this and that. Yeah, he's Big
Right
Cass. I'm
right
Enzo. But anyway, this is the time when you have to be at the top of your game and, you know, be putting out good content and good storylines and not recycling stuff. This is why people shit all over TNA so much, because they recycle stuff and they don't. It's like they don't have a creative like department. It's like they don't have creative writers. It's like, oh, we did this before, let's do that again, instead of putting him in matches or a feud with somebody. Put him in a tag team with Shera and, you know, do something with that.
He's already in a feud. The overarching dilemma is that the Eli Drake thing is technically not really over, I guess. Right? Like, shouldn't Eli Drake still be mad that he got his contract back? Yeah. I mean, if they wanted to go, you know, a simpler route, but you know, let's be complicated because why not? Then we get a Shane Helms and Trevor Lee in ring conversation. Um, Shane Helms talks about how he was bringing eyes to the X division by Trevor Lee winning the title and Shane Helms coming back. But Shane, I ain't seen you in like 4 weeks, so you're gonna have to come back on a more consistent basis before you start talking to me about how you bringing some eyes on something. Anyway, I just didn't agree with that portion of the promo. I get it, but no. And he says he got a conversation to be having with Eddie Edwards. And he talks about that an in-ring debut for Shane Helms in TNA is imminent. So maybe Eddie Edwards and Shane Helms going up against Beer Money for the tag team titles. Perhaps. What do you think? And then we got one more Pope promo. Calling out Lashley one more time. Basically says he wants a fight. He wants a brawl. He wants some fisticuffs. One-on-one, no security, no refs, no audience, nobody watching, nobody thinking about the match. Anyway, he didn't say all that. He didn't say all that. I made that up. Made that up because nobody, no one. But any thoughts on Pope and Lashley? They gonna fight, and Shane Helms and Trevor Lee in a potential Eddie Edwards Shane Helms thing.
I'm excited for the fight between Pope and that generic guy. You know, I hope it's a good one. I hope it's like an actual like street fight, you know, where they go all over the Impact Zone, where, you know, it's not just a false count anywhere match where they just go around the ring like another company that comes to mind. WWE, that's it. That's the one that. But anyway, I was a little bit confused with the Eddie Edwards segment, just because, first off, to me, it makes me feel like TNA thinks that Eddie Edwards is weak, that, you know, they can't throw him into a singles storyline. They're trying to, you know, put him into a tag team with Helms. I mean, which you could do, but then when Davey comes back, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep him with Helms? Are you going to break them up and put him back with the Wolves?
I got a thought on that. I was thinking, this is just me thinking ahead a little bit, maybe. I was thinking maybe it's gonna be a thing where, yeah, Shane Helms is like, yeah, I'll do this because Shane Helms is the heel. If we haven't realized yet, he doesn't always act like it. So, you know, Shane Helms is like, yeah, I'll tag team with you, and then, you know, it sets up something where Trevor Lee gets mad, and Shane Helms was, you know, with Trevor Lee the whole time, and they weren't really going to tag team together, and it sets up a Trevor Lee Eddie Edwards thing. That's what I was expecting, because Trevor Lee was not happy about this proposition. It didn't look like, but Trevor Lee always looks at least halfway lost.
I mean, or unless they're setting up a Wolves heel turn where they start like a faction there, because I mean they have.
Oh God, don't do that. There's too many of those in TNA. No.
TNA likes random factions that they forget to use, like I don't know, the Decay. Still didn't see them this week at all. We saw
the video. That's enough.
Yeah, that's it. We see that every week. That's turning into the No Way Jose thing. We're just seeing that every week.
But yeah, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with that too. I was thinking it was gonna be something where they were gonna that would be good though. To kind of change it up a little bit. But the Decay are heels too, so you know that they're gonna win the titles. They're gonna be the next in line. I feel like I haven't checked anything or anything, so don't quote me on this. But they're gonna actually quote me on this. Do it. They're gonna win the titles. I feel like, and then they're gonna feud with the Wolves because there's no other tag team. Well, Romans are back, but you know, there's really no other tag teams. I don't feel like. But and plus, we would have 3 heel tag teams: Decay, Romans,
Tyrus, and Matt Hardy could be a tag team, or Tyrus and Spud.
Spyrus. I see what you're doing. I get it. Anyway, let's get into the matches. We started off the show with Tyrus, Matt Hardy, and Spud and Reby, known as the Hardy brand, going up against EC3. First off, Casey, you're gonna agree with me, but my goodness, Reby, Sky, Hardy, whatever your last name is, I don't know what she had on, but she should wear that every night. But anyway, this match, it was just a numbers game match. Basically, it was just setting up a match after this, which was a 6-man tag match with EC3, EC3 and Beer Money versus Tyrus, Mike Bennett, and Matt Hardy. Because Mike Bennett, there's too many M's. Mike Bennett attacked EC3 in this match, causing disqualification. Beer Money comes to save the day. Then that makes that 6-man tag match, which ended up ending off of a twist of fate off the Tyrus distraction. So Matt Hardy, Mike Bennett, and Tyrus end up winning. It was pretty good. It wasn't bad. Any thoughts on the first kind of 2 matches? They kind of molded together a little bit.
Why couldn't you just make this a 6-man tag originally? I don't understand why they had to set it up this way. I don't know. I didn't like the original match. I don't like the, numbers game to, make the face look stronger or whatever. They do that too much with John Cena. Anytime I see a match like that, I automatically just think John Cena. I think they just could have set up the 6-man tag. I don't know. Yeah, that stuff and
Alrighty. So next we got a Madison Rain versus Velvet Sky match set up by Gail Kim, which caused a little confusion on who the number 1 contender is for the Knockouts Championship. I forgot like half the word there. Knockouts Championship. So this was a pretty good match. It wasn't bad. Madison Rain got her own music, which I wish they would have not done that, because then it kind of gives it away like who's gonna win. We got Velvet Sky coming out with this beautiful people, and then we got Madison Rain coming out with whatever music she had, because I don't remember it. She came out with new music, which I liked. I liked it. I'm wondering if I feel like they're gonna push Jade before they push Madison Rain, but I think Velvet Sky's on the way out the door sometime soon. That's why they're trying to kind of break off this whole beautiful people thing and kind of let them go on their own separate ways. But Rain wins by a leverage pin, which Jade didn't do. So basically that means Jade has a better chance of winning than anyway. Casey, thoughts?
I was confused in this match because I was like, okay, they bring back the beautiful people. Like 2 weeks later, Angelina gets pregnant, so she's out. Now they're breaking them up again.
Hey, it wasn't Angelina's fault. She can't
Stop.
help she got pregnant.
I know, but TNA needs to stop bringing back the beautiful people, and they're breaking them up. And they're bringing them back, and then breaking them up.
But everyone loves the beautiful people, so it makes sense, right?
But I mean, I love it. I love Madison Rain.
You about to say I love Angelina Love? Say it.
I mean, I used to like Angelina Love, and then she never. I don't know. She just kind of got stale really quick. But no, I love Madison Rain. I feel like Madison Rain has always been the best member of the beautiful people, like the standout.
No, it was Taryn Terrell, obviously.
Get out of here. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
You don't remember that time? You don't remember that time when Taryn Terrell was in the beautiful people? It counts. It counts. She was in the beautiful people for like 2 months. She was there. I saw her. I mean, like, she's just a total package, you know. Wrestler, referee, beautiful person. What?
Didn't she leave?
She retired.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She quit. She's a quitter. No. Quit.
So Daniel Bryan quit. Okay. You heard it here first. You heard it here first from Casey. Daniel Bryan quit.
No,
because he retired, he quit. That's what that means.
Because of injuries. He didn't want to. Taryn wanted to. She couldn't hack it.
I don't think that. Anyway, we got the Bromans came out following EY's promo and said they was gonna kick some booty. You know, they must have been eating some bootios, and they realized that, you know, they realized EY and Bram, they hadn't had none yet, so they had to share them a little bit. I get it. So we got the Bromans versus EY and Bram. This is a pretty good tag team match. I like watching the Bromans in the ring. I like their tag team work. They always seem to work pretty well together. I don't know if they really changed much as far as their moveset is in this match, but they win with the bro down off the miscommunication by Bram and EY. So they're continuing the miscommunication angle because EY is leaving soon. So I guess EY, something's going to happen with that whole thing too. Seems like every new like team / faction they created at the beginning of the year is already gone for some sort of reason or another. But Casey, any thoughts on the Bromans versus BY?
I don't know. I don't want to get into this. Like, I don't want to get excited about a feud here or anything, because, like you said, all the factions and like teams that they began in like the beginning of the year are already, you know, everyone's leaving TNA and probably going to sign with NXT. Which I'm still wondering what's going to happen with James Storm since Rude's leaving. But this was a good match. Like you said, it's kind of the Bromans haven't really changed much in ring, and I don't feel like we saw really any darker side of them in this match. I was expecting something, you know, dark or something in this match just from the earlier promo, and I was a little bit upset because I didn't get it, and I was like, oh, there goes TNA again, promising something and then forgetting to write it into the storyline. Good job, TNA.
I thought you said you liked this show. Sound like Justin.
Like
the biggest insult I could have given you ever.
You know what? I'm going to go watch Shinsuke Nakamura arrive to NXT Dallas again with Funaki. They need to put them as a tag team. So
you're going to watch Shinsuke Nakamura and Funaki. I bet you that's what Justin would have said in that moment. We must mute him when we have to say his name today. It's gotta happen. Anyway, back to TNA. I'm gonna give you the main event because I want you to cheer up and quit crying so much. Even though I thought the show was okay, it wasn't the greatest thing ever, but whatever. Drew Galloway versus Jeff Hardy for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the world and potentially Florida because they're doing Universal Studio shows and stuff. Anyway, Casey, thoughts? Take it away.
Oh man, let me look at the notes that I had took on this match. Well, Jeff Hardy was in this match. You know that, right? And Drew Galloway. Both of those guys used to be in the WWE at one point. Where Jeff Hardy had a WWE Championship run. He did. Drew Galloway was the chosen one. He was Drew McIntyre back then. But that didn't go nowhere. But as for this match, EJ,
It went places, right?
what did you think of this match first? What did you think?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. I think that it was probably the best match of the night because I feel like the main event picture, the main the main event. I feel like you just saw that picture. Anyway, the main event picture is the best thing going for TNA right now because there are actually some sort of storylines to a certain degree, and they're putting on good matches and whatnot. So like, I feel like all the main events from the past couple of weeks have been really good. But I enjoyed this match. I thought it was good. The Swanton to the outside by Jeff Hardy was cool. Then we got caught with the knees on the other Swanton on the steps. That was painful. Then Galloway won with the future shock there at the end, and then Matt Hardy would come out. He would talk about how next show was called Revenge. I think it's funny that a Hardy says the next week's show is going to be Revenge, but anyway, you'll get the joke later. Hardy basically says he's getting his rematch next week because he's owed one. Galloway says, we can do it right now, but Bram and EY attack. Matt Hardy, kind of helps out a little bit. Bram and EY get caught with Clayborgs, and then I think Matt Hardy gets caught with a twist of fate. And next week, we're going to have not only a TNA World Title match, but we're going to have a 6 Sides of Steel encounter, battle, fight between EY and Jeff Hardy for some Hardy's revenge. He tried to chant it and didn't really. I'm pretty sure I went to that Big Time Wrestling show and Jeff Hardy was there. No one got the joke, but I was like, he was in the ring. He was having his match. I was like, Hardy's revenge. No one was getting it. But anyway, Casey, any thoughts on basically Hardy's revenge, not the match? Whatever.
I mean,
Hardy's.
Hold on a second.
Awkward silence. That's his thoughts because he doesn't have any.
Wow. I have thoughts. Shut up. Yeah, Hardy's revenge. Because, damn it, who allowed him to have a mic? Who allowed this? But anyway, I did just realize we're not gonna have a NXT Dallas to take over Dallas tonight. It's a big joke. It is April 1st, so it's just gonna be a big April Fool's joke. There's gonna be. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we're not gonna have a show tonight.
Sure. Yeah, it is. Anyway, this was a good show. I enjoyed it. It was okay. It wasn't the greatest thing I've seen, but it wasn't the greatest thing I've seen. That's what I'm saying. Hope you guys enjoyed. Push that subscribe button if you like the show and you want to say, Casey, you're wrong. Tell them in the comments. Be like, Casey, you, my dear sir, are wrong about Lashley. He is not generic at all. He's a destroyer, a dominator, I can't think of another word that starts with D. He is that. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done. I will see you guys later. We'll see you guys for NXT Takeover Dallas review if the show happens. It probably won't because, you know, April and Fools and whatever. But we'll see you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed. Push that subscribe button. Make sure that you comment on the video if you got anything to say. And I'm doing this because it's funny. I will see you guys later.